I'm gonna get started on my fried chicken. I'm using a brine, and I'm using a pickling brine. So I have 2 cups of water in my pot here. I'm gonna use about 2 tablespoons of pickling spice, so that's like peppercorn, there's red pepper flakes in there. I'm gonna use 1 bay leaf, 2 tablespoons of kosher salt, and now I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of sugar. I love brining my chicken because it helps the chicken retain its moisture, so that chicken stays really, really juicy once you fry it. I'm gonna bring my mixture to a boil. So it's a pickling brine. The pickling part comes from the pickling spices and vinegar. A little vinegar in there. Today I'm using dark meat because I just believe that dark meat has a little bit more flavor. So I'm using drumsticks and thighs. My favorite is the thigh. This is the rolling boil I'm looking for. I'm gonna turn this off and I'm gonna cool this down in a bowl of ice cubes. You don't wanna cook your chicken in the brine, so it has to be cool. It smells amazing, and I know this fried chicken is gonna blow his mind. You wanna make sure when you are brining your chicken that it's skin side down and you have enough brine to cover the chicken. If you don't have enough brine, just add some more water to your bowl. Alrighty, let me wash my hands. So I'm gonna let my chicken sit here in the brine for about 1 hour to 2 hours. Now it's time to take it out and get ready to fry it. I'm making sure that I'm dripping off any excess pickling spices. Sometimes it does get stuck to the skin. When you think about Southern fried chicken, it is American Southern. It's American Southern as you can get. Gullah, on the other hand, not so much. We like to stew our chicken. So over the years, somehow these 2 paths have crossed. Now Gullah people fry our chicken as well. But traditional Gullah cuisine consists of stewed foods. All right, buttermilk also helps tenderize the chicken, so this is gonna be some juicy chicken. And the buttermilk also helps the dredge adhere to the chicken. You gotta have a really great dredge to make a really great fried chicken. 3 cups of all-purpose flour, some salt, I'm using kosher salt, eyeballing this, some garlic powder, onion powder. When you look at seasoning salt, it usually has a red color to it, and that's from the paprika. It's more mellow. You can tell that it's paprika, but it's not overpowering. Give it a whisk. This is gonna be amazing. Growing up, my mom taught me how to use this paper bag. She said her grandmother taught her how to use the paper bag, so maybe that's the secret. So now I'm just dropping off any excess buttermilk. Give it a shake. See how nice and coated that is? Ooh, that's gonna be some crunchy fried chicken. That's the benefit of using the bag. It's gonna get your chicken coated evenly. My family tradition is if you have a guest that comes over, you send them home with a plate. And Capers is gonna go home with a nice plate for him, and he's gonna enjoy this tomorrow with his wife, Dee Dee. She's so cute. That is all of my chicken. So I've got my canola oil nice and hot, about 350. I'm gonna start with my thighs because thighs take a little longer to cook. And I also make sure that I do not overcrowd the skillet because if you overcrowd the skillet, it's gonna lower the temperature of the oil and you wanna avoid that. I put the skin side down first because I wanna achieve that golden color, then flip it over and let it really cook throughout. I'm gonna let this fry for about 4 to 5 minutes, then flip it over and cook it for an additional 4 to 5 minutes. All I want to do here is get it nice and golden. I'm gonna finish the cooking in the oven, keeping them warm until they're ready to serve. See, yeah, ooh, that is gonna be juicy. Perfect, they're ready to come out. Drumsticks are a little smaller, so the cooking time is a little less, 3 to 4 minutes per side. I'm gonna let that cook for about 3 to 4 minutes and then flip it over and let it cook for an additional 3 or 4 minutes. My mom and my grandmother love frying chicken on Fridays, and I would love coming home from school and hearing this. Sometimes I would smell it in the driveway before I even got to the door. This is bringing back those memories for me. I'm gonna get started on my hot honey sauce for that fried chicken. Get that going. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of butter to my pot. And there's no rhyme or reason to this sauce. I'll tell you, I just stop pouring until I feel like it's right. That's enough, about half the bottle. Gonna use smoked paprika. That smokiness is gonna complement that fried chicken really, really well. A teaspoon of that and a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And hot honey hot sauce, you gotta have some honey, about a 1/4 cup of honey. And just make sure the butter is melted. I'm just stirring, making sure there's no little bits of butter in there. And that's it. Let me get a new spoon and try it. Perfect. The first thing I tasted was the honey, a little bit of the vinegar from the hot sauce. I can't wait to put it on that chicken. You know what? I think I'm smelling this chicken and I'm gonna check on it because I think it's done. This chicken is perfection. Look at that. All right, got my chicken there. I'm gonna let it rest. If you like sweet and if you like hot, I got some hot honey sauce right there.
And that's for the chicken?
That's for the chicken. Look at me trying to be fancy. I'm gonna go face first into it too.
There's the only way I know how to eat fried chicken. You just take it, take it in. It's awesome.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I can't get over this batter on here. Is there a secret to making it so crispy? And juicy on the inside?
Yeah. So I soaked it in a wet brine. It's basically water, sugar, a little bit of vinegar, and pickling
sweet.
Spices. Yeah.
Underneath that, it's really good.
So I'm starting with spicy Korean-inspired chicken wings. So I have 2 pounds of chicken wings here that I've cleaned. So I've created a dredging station here. I have some egg whites, cornstarch, and rice flour. What I wanna do is start off with my egg whites. The egg white is gonna help that flour and cornstarch stick to the chicken. Korean fried chicken wings are different from your standard like Southern style chicken. It's much more light, airy, and super crispy. I'm gonna wash my hands. When you're frying chicken, make sure that you wash your hands often, okay? You don't wanna cross-contaminate. All right, so I have a 1/2 cup of cornstarch and rice flour. And when you even look at rice flour, you can tell that it's much lighter than all-purpose flour. It's so fine, it's really sandy-like. So when you fry this, it's gonna get super crispy and airy. That's about a 1/2 cup of that. I'm gonna put some of my house seasoning in this as well. Pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, and salt. Now I'm just gonna dredge. See how that flour is sticking to the chicken? Oh yeah, that's gonna be really crispy. I love Asian flavors. Even though they are very different cultures, there's so many similarities in Asian and Seoul cooking. It's layers of flavor, it's food with a story. Very similar. All right, so I'm gonna wash my hands really well. Okay, so I'm gonna build my sauce super simple. You guys know I don't measure a thing when it comes to sauce, but you can find it online, exact measurements. All right, so I have some fermented chili paste here, which is gochujang. This is a thick and spicy paste, and since it's fermented, it'll add a rich umami flavor. A little ketchup, a little honey to balance out that heat. Don't want it too spicy. I don't want Kedrick to have to put out a fire in our mouths. A little soy sauce, of course. I'm also gonna add a little brown sugar as another element of sweet. A little chili flakes, more heat. Bow, bow, bow. I'm gonna grate in some garlic. Lots of garlic, actually 4 cloves of garlic. So this is gonna be garlicky, it's gonna be a little spicy, a little sweet. I have some peeled ginger here. I'm gonna also grate this into the pot. That ginger is gonna give it some warmth. All right, I'm gonna also add a few tablespoons of butter to help this sauce come together, and some rice wine vinegar. It's gonna add a little acidity, it's gonna be bright, it's gonna help balance out the sweet and the spice. And you know what? Butter also helps to kind of calm down that spice as well. And what's a hot wing sauce without butter? I'm still Southern. This sauce smells delicious already. Mmm. Woo-hoo. Woo! That's spicy. I'm gonna show you how that sauce is nice and sticky because it's sticking to my spatula here. That's the consistency that I want. I'm gonna switch this pot, put it back here, let that chill out until I need to toss. I have canola oil. I like to fry with like a neutral oil. I wanna do a double fry. This method ensures a really crispy chicken wing. You wanna start off at 300, kinda low. fry it until it's slightly golden brown. I'm gonna take it out the heat and let it rest for a few minutes and bring the heat up to about 400 degrees. I promise you, it will be the crispiest chicken you have ever tasted in your life. All right, so I think that first fry is done. See, slightly golden brown. I'm gonna let them rest for about 3 to 4 minutes. All right, I'm gonna turn the heat up and let this come up to about 400 degrees, and then I'm gonna do my second fry. You can't just gauge this with your eye, so I'd say it's always good to have a thermometer in your kitchen. My oil is close to 400. I'm gonna dip those wings in for the second batch. And these are gonna fry very quickly. Hey, now we cooking with hot grease. Shoot. It's gonna calm down just a little bit. I'm gonna let this fry for about 2 to 3 minutes. You know, Kedrick is a firefighter. He risks his life every day when he goes into work. How selfless can you be? He's a hero. So it's nice to cook for him when I can. And we are there. Golden brown Korean-inspired chicken. Okay. I've got my sauce. I'm gonna put these wings into this bowl here and toss it in my sauce. All right, pour that sauce right into the bowl. All that sauce, we like a salsa wing over here. Looks good to me. So I'm gonna toss it. You can hear how crispy these wings are. Look at that. Even with that thick sauce on top. Hit it with a little of that green onion. Some white sesame seeds for a little texture. I like to hit it with a little cilantro. Look at that. Now for the moment of truth. Let me show you. Listen closely. Double fry. On a scale of 1 to 5 alarmer.
I'd say we're at a 4 alarm.
I brought the heat.
Yeah, it's good. The chicken's really good. It's sweet.
Ooh.
It has like a nice tang to it.
Oh, thank you. You can do more with white rice. You can put it on your chicken and fry it. Crispy rice-coated chicken. So it's gonna be extra crispy and juicy. Because this rice needs to really stick to the chicken, I gotta create a dredge. 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a few teaspoons of my house seasoning. That's paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. It goes well on anything. 3 eggs in this bowl. A half a cup of whole milk. Mix that up. Take my crispy rice cereal and put it in this bowl. I like to put just enough in there, but I'm gonna also have to crunch this up. This is definitely an unexpected way to use rice. All right, I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper to my rice cereal. All right, so I have 8 drumsticks. What I'm doing here is taking my drumsticks, coating it in the flour that I have seasoned with my house seasoning, putting it in the egg mixture with the milk, and then coating it with the crushed rice cereal. So you can only imagine how crispy this is gonna be. My chicken is coated. Gotta wash my hands, like I've been working. I have some peanut oil over here heated to about 350. That's the temperature that chicken or anything that you fries best at. I'm gonna fry these until they're golden brown. I like them when they're pretty and golden brown, and you don't wanna overcrowd your pot or your oil, because if you do that, it's not gonna fry evenly, and it'll take a long time for the chicken to cook. This is where I like to stop right here. It's golden brown, it's juicy. I'm not gonna dry it out. I'm just gonna finish this off in the oven. I have my oven to about 350. I'm gonna add my next batch. Again, I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. I'm gonna let these hang out until they come to temp. My chicken is done. Oh, now look at that. Perfectly cooked, rice-coated fried chicken. I want you guys to hear the crunch. Listen to this. Oh yeah. You can do more with white rice. You can put it on your chicken and fry it. Ooh, that is good. All right. Well, I got my pork chops. I like to use bone-in pork chops. My mom believes that's where all the flavor is in the bone. I got my flour here, about a cup of buttermilk, 1 egg, and a little Dijon mustard. I don't know if they do this at Bertha's, but this is the way that I like to season and dredge my pork chops. You're gonna get flavor from the crunch on the outside. You're gonna get flavor all the way down into the pork chop. All right, and my last plate, I'm gonna put in panko. Now, this is not customary when making soul food fried pork chops. I like using panko because it just adds that extra crunch to it. And I'm also gonna add a few teaspoons of my house seasoning. I like to put a little salt and pepper on my chops. So when you go to Bertha's, they'll serve the pork chop with 2 slices of white bread, whatever size you have, and more than likely, you're gonna make a sandwich out of it. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do with mine. When you go to Bertha's, they don't toast their bread. I like my bread toasted. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lather some butter all over this Texas toast, so it's gonna be this meaty, chunky sandwich with this slaw on top. So I've got my chops, my thin chop, put it in flour first, both sides. Flour helps the buttermilk and the eggs stick to the pork chop. I am ready for some pork chops. Let me clean my hands. My oil is preheated to about 350 degrees. Let's see if I need to fry this in 2 batches. You never want to overcrowd your pan. You need to leave enough space in there so your pork chops can cook evenly. I used to love when my mom made thin sliced pork chop sandwiches, but you gotta get it right out the oil. It has to be hot and crunchy, and I like my mustard and hot sauce on my pork chop. Pork chops don't take long to cook and depends on the thickness of the pork chop, but I think these should be pretty good, around 3 to 4 minutes. I like to flip them once they're golden brown. Let's see. That is pretty. Now we're talking golden brown. All right, look at that, y'all. Golden brown and done. Beautiful, that's what you call a chop. And while that's frying, I'm gonna toast my bread. When you go to Bertha's, they give you the thinly sliced bread. I like Texas toast. When you put some butter on some Texas toast and toast it, yeah, like exactly. It's just something about it. It just soaks up that butter even better than thinly sliced bread. Check on the chops. These are done. Here's KJ.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Mister.
Been a minute. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Ooh, you give the best hugs.
I try.
Have a seat.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, I'm making a slaw for the top of our pork chop sandwich.
I've never had slaw on a pork chop sandwich, so you know.
Okay, well, this is gonna be a first time.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so I cut half this green cabbage here. I'm gonna cut up about half of the shallot.
I love onions, and I've never seen a shallot in person.
What?
Like an uncooked shallot, I've never seen it.
Well, we gotta get you cooking. So I've added some mayo to my bowl. I'm gonna add some Dijon mustard. I think Dijon mustard just takes it to another level.
Right.
I'm gonna put some garlic powder.
Can't go wrong with garlic.
You can't, never. Got some mustard seeds.
Okay.
Mustard seeds have an earthy flavor and it gives it a little crunch.
Nice.
Got some salt, of course.
Thank you
Over
for
the shoulder.
seasoning your food. Thank you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
of course. A little vinegar. It's a little tangy. And a little sugar just to make sure that it's not like super tangy, okay? And I eyeball everything.
I was about to say, I've seen not one measuring spoon yet.
Practice makes perfect.
Correct.
You'll start to trust yourself and your taste buds.
I got you.
You
Or
like-
I can just trust people like you to make it right
There
the
you go.
first time.
There you go.
Look at this one right here. Slaw it up.
Slaw it up. So excited to show the soul food side of vegan. I want to make fried chicken, but with no chicken. I'm gonna make lemon pepper chicken with tofu and ranch sauce to dip it in. So I have some firm tofu here. Now that's very important because I really need it to hold up like chicken does. So to drain this and to make sure that all the excess liquid comes out of it, I have some paper towel at the bottom. I have the tofu on top of the paper towel. And what I did was put another tray on top and weigh it down with some cans so it can really soak up all of that liquid into the paper towels. So I have cut my tofu up into strips. And I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna get this tofu to taste just like chicken. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but in the supermarket, they carry vegan chicken flavored broth. So when I do fry it up, it's gonna have this beautiful crunchy coating on the outside, and it's gonna taste just like chicken on the inside. Add my tofu to this and let it marinate and soak up that chicken flavor. Now I'm gonna make my ranch sauce for my chicken strips. It's gonna taste just like ranch, I promise you. A little bit of vegan mayo, and I'm gonna use a little bit of almond milk unsweetened original, because almond milk does come in like vanilla flavors and other flavors. Get the unsweetened original. Some garlic powder, some dried parsley. I like to add dill, and a little goes a long way because it is dried. And I'm gonna use some onion powder. And then finish it off with some black pepper, heavy pinch of salt, and a little bit of vinegar. Okay, give it a mix. All right, let me try this. That tastes just like buttermilk ranch. All right, so now I'm gonna make my vegan buttermilk for my chicken strips. I'm gonna pour in 1.5 cups of almond milk, unsweetened. I'm gonna add in about 1.5 tablespoons of vinegar. So I'm gonna let my buttermilk hang out, get nice and thick, and I need to refrigerate my ranch while that happens. All right, so I got my whole dredging table here set up. I have my firm tofu that's been sitting in that chicken broth. I have my buttermilk here. I got 2 cups of flour, 1/4 cup of cornstarch to really help flour adhere to that tofu, and lemon pepper seasoning, just a pinch of salt, and a little bit more pepper. From the chicken broth to the buttermilk to the seasoned flour. So I'm gonna fry it up in vegetable oil, and it's gonna have that same crispy texture on the outside that you get with your standard chicken strip, and the inside is gonna have that flavor of like a chicken nugget. Of course, it's not gonna pull apart like your chicken breast, but it's gonna have a soft crunch to it on the inside like dark meat chicken. All right, so my tofu is breaded. Now I have my vegetable oil here that I have heated up to about 350 degrees. I'm just gonna fry it until it's golden brown, but I'm not frying it, of course, to cook it all the way through because you don't need to cook tofu through. Normally when I'm frying chicken, I'll kind of use my spider and move it all around. I don't wanna do that with tofu because it can be easily broken. So I just wanted to float, let it fry, and then take it out to reduce the risk of breaking it in half. So my chicken strips are nice and golden brown and crispy. I'm gonna dip these in the ranch, and they're gonna taste just like that 10-piece lemon pepper combo that all the folks in Atlanta love.